Welcome to my Workplace Warrior tip number 1. Don't take things personally. Now, I know we've all heard that before, but what does that really mean? Well, there was a famous author a couple years ago that wrote a wonderful book called The 4 Agreements, Don Miguel Ruiz, and he talked about this as being the second agreement. And what it's really about is really not taking the words that people use to describe our behaviors, our work product, perhaps even our personality, and taking it too much to heart. Now, I know that's easier said than done. How do we go about doing that so that we don't let people's opinions about that impact us and in some ways, hurt us and harm us? Let's go take a look. Strategy number 1, put yourself in the other person's shoes. Now, what does that mean? Well, think about an organization. Has this ever happened? You're part of an organization, the CEO decides to maybe fire the division head of your group. You now have a new leader that's come in with new strategies, new directions that they want to take the organization, right? Maybe as a result of that, they're now analyzing what you've done in the past, and maybe they're not happy with it. Maybe they want to change things around. Don't take those things personally. It's not always about you, right? Try to put yourself in that person's shoes to say, gee, if I was the department head or the leader, what might I do in this situation? So that's tip number 1. Try to put yourself in the other person's shoes to figure out what are they doing and how can I think differently and not have it all be about me. Strategy number 2. People's comments are not always a reflection about us. It's actually a reflection about them. Now, what does that mean? That's really about when someone comes and tells you, you know what, Joe, on that recent project, you didn't really do a very good job. I noticed that you weren't very thorough, and in fact, I want you to do it over again. Well, you know what? That may not have anything to do with your work product. It might have to do with maybe that person's insecurity. Maybe someone had no idea what you did before. So keep in mind that people's feedback, response, perspective may not have to do with anything with you, but just really what their knowledge of the situation is, what they understand, based on what their knowledge is. What are some of the things that might be, as a result of their knowledge, be things that are impacting their decision. So it's not always about you. Don't take it personally. It has nothing to do with your knowledge or your expertise. Strategy number 3. Make a list of all your work accomplishments. Now, why is this important? Well, if you start thinking about the things that you've done, the things that you've had impact, the things that you've been able to make progress about, I bet you're going to feel pretty good about yourself. And so when someone comes along and says, you know what, Mary, you haven't really done a very good job in managing this project, you're going to have the confidence in yourself to know, you know what, I am a good manager. I have been very organized and proactive. Whatever the person's saying is really their impression, is not necessarily a reflection of the reality. So those are 3 simple tips to help you think about and remember that, you know what, no matter what someone says to you, whether it's positive or even constructive feedback, don't always take it personally, right? So that's one thing to kind of think about, and that's going to save you a lot of heartache too, and hopefully a little less tears and a little less stress and anxiety because you're worrying about, why does someone think this about me, or why does my new boss seemingly not value my opinion, or think that I'm not productive, or think that I'm not credible as other people. It's not always about you. Okay, so hopefully that one tip will be helpful for you.